Hello and welcome. So today, we're diving into how you can take back control of your energy bill. And we're going to do it by turning that big, untapped resource you have, yep, your roof, into your own personal power station. Let's get right into it.
I mean, who hasn't felt this, right? You open that utility bill and the number just seems to creep higher and higher every single year. You can feel like you're totally at the mercy of forces outside your control. But what if that didn't have to be the case?
That's right. The answer isn't miles away in some distant power plant. It could literally be the vast, untapped potential of your very own roof. We're going to break down exactly how you can turn that space into your personal power-generating machine.
Okay, so let's tackle the big question first. Why even take on a project like this? What's the real motivation for going the do-it-yourself route with solar energy?
You know, this quote just nails it. This is so much more than a weekend home improvement project. It's really a fundamental shift in how you think about and use energy. It's about becoming a producer, not just a consumer.
And the benefits here are, well, they're incredibly real. On the financial side, you're going to save a ton on your bills, and you can even sell the extra power you generate back to the grid. But it goes way deeper than that. You're also slashing your carbon footprint and gaining a level of energy independence that is, honestly, truly empowering.
All right, let's pull back the curtain and demystify the technology a bit. I know it might seem really complex from the outside, but a home solar system is actually built around just a few core parts that are surprisingly straightforward. Let's see how it all fits together.
So first off, it's really important to know we're talking about a grid tie system here. This means you aren't going completely off-grid like some cabin in the woods. Nope, you stay connected to your utility company, and that comes with a huge benefit called net metering. This is the secret sauce. It's how you can actually make money. On those super sunny days when you're making more power than you're using, your meter literally spins backward. You're earning credit with the power company.
So how does that energy get from the sun all the way to your blender? It's a pretty simple 5-step flow. First, the solar modules, the panels themselves, collect sunlight as DC power. Now think of DC as a one-way street. But all your appliances at home, they need AC power, which is more like a two-way street. And that's the job of the power inverter. From there, for safety, it goes through a disconnect switch, connects to your home's main breaker box, and finally, the net meter keeps track of the whole shebang.
Now, for the panels themselves, you've basically got two main choices. Crystalline panels are the workhorses. They're super efficient and incredibly durable. We're talking a lifespan of over 40 years. They do need a mounting rack, though. On the other hand, you've got thin film, which is more flexible and a bit easier to install, but it's less efficient and doesn't last as long. So you're basically trading long-term performance for a little more ease of installation up front.
Okay, so you've picked out your parts. Now it's time for the how-to. One of the sources we looked at called this the IKEA of solar. And I think that's a perfect way to look at it. It's a totally manageable journey, and it's broken down into 3 clear phases.
Phase 1 is all about the planning. This is where you do your homework. You're going to dig through your utility bills to figure out your energy usage, check out your property for the best sun exposure, and this part is absolutely critical. Get all the necessary permits. Seriously, getting this phase right makes everything that follows so much smoother.
Then comes phase 2, the hands-on part. This is where you actually build the system. You'll start by installing the racking, which is like the foundation. Then you'll mount the inverter, get the panels secured in place. This is definitely a 2-person job, by the way. But the whole process is really logical. You build the foundation, you add the components, and then you wire it all up.
And finally, phase 3 is all about making it official. Just because the panels are on your roof doesn't mean you can flip the switch just yet. You've got to get a final inspection, you need to complete the interconnection agreement with your utility company, and then you get the magic document, permission to operate. Once that's in your hand, you are officially a power producer. How cool is that?
Okay, let's get down to it. This is the section everybody's been waiting for. Let's talk numbers. What does this actually cost, and what's the real financial return on this investment?
If there's one number you remember from this whole thing, let it be this one, 30%. The federal government offers a tax credit that covers almost a third of your total system cost. And let me be clear, this isn't some tiny rebate. It's a massive incentive that completely changes the financial equation.
And right here is where the power of DIY really becomes crystal clear. For a pretty typical 6-kilowatt system, having a professional come in and install it can run you $35,000 or even more. But by doing the labor yourself, you can get that cost down to around $24,500. That's more than $10,000 in savings right off the bat. And you can push that return even higher.
Beyond that big federal credit, you've got to check out the DSEER database. That stands for the Database of State Incentives for Renewables and Efficiency. It's an awesome resource that lists all the state and local perks that can save you even more money. You combine that with net metering and decades of lower bills, and the long-term payoff is just incredibly compelling.
So, we've covered the why, the what, the how, and the how much. Now let's wrap it all up into a clear, actionable game plan so you can get started on this journey.
Here is your immediate action plan. Step 1, pull out your utility bills and figure out your average energy use. Step 2, use the free maps from the National Renewable Energy Laboratory to find your area's peak sun hours. Step 3, do a little math. Divide your daily energy use by those sun hours, and that'll give you a rough idea of the system size you need. And finally, Step 4, start digging into your local rules for permits. These 4 steps will take you from just thinking about solar to actually planning for it.
And you know, that's really what this all boils down to. This journey isn't just about saving money, or even about helping the environment, though it is about both of those things. It's about taking ownership. It's about becoming more self-sufficient and turning your own home into a source of clean, renewable energy. So the only question left is, are you ready?